Today I am making like pork meatballs with the flavor profile of what you would expect inside a dim sum in a pot sticker or something. And so I'm starting with a pound of wild boar, force of nature, and then it's going to get these onions. And then these are dried shiitakes that are soaked in half water, half dry sherry. Because dry sherry is a lot like Chinese wine. So if you're making kind of Chinese things, it's use just dry sherry. And so I'm going to put them in the pot over here and start these cooking. 1 second, I'm going to show this to you. You hear that sizzle going. I'm going to squeeze these. We're going to use some of this juice. Squeeze these out. Put those in. Here it is. Right there. Turn the light on. We're just going to cook those till they're cooked, the onions are soft, and then I'm going to put that into the food processor. Then I'm going to mix the ground pork with a little bit of potato starch. So potato starch is better than cornstarch. It gives the same kind of softening. You know, often the Chinese put cornstarch into meat mixes and stuff, and it gives a softening. But then you have the whole GMO and glyphosate problem, that why I don't eat corn and cornstarch and things. So, and there are no lectins in potato starch. We don't eat potatoes anymore because of the lectins. But potato starch doesn't have lectins, so I use that for certain little things. It does. It's kind of high in carbs, but and then sesame oil, ginger. You can use fresh, and I'm going to use this minced garlic, onions, garlic, ginger, sesame oil. The juice from the soaking of the mushrooms. It has a little dry sherry. A couple eggs. Potato starch, and then the pureed onion and mushroom mixture. So once that's done, I'll come back and show you. We'll throw it all together. So here's the cooked onions and mushrooms. And what I did was that liquid that the mushrooms were soaking in with a little bit of dry sherry went into the pan. Some garlic went in. Sauteing the onions and mushroom, and then I put the liquid and reduced it down. So now I'm going to grind this. Alright, not too small. I want to have some little pieces. And then put in an egg. Two all at once here. Alright, going right into the bowl. Let me change the camera direction. Okay, we're going into this bowl. And then I've got some chives from the garden. You know, Normally the Chinese use scallions, but this is what I have. Alright. And then I'm going to put, this is the potato starch. It's like 1 teaspoon. Sort of in between a teaspoon and a tablespoon. That's going to make this, along with the puree onions and mushrooms, the eggs, going to make a nice, soft, tasty filling. And then the sesame oil. And, you know, I try not to use much soy. Oh, that light's right in the way. Put this over here. But, you know, I use tamari if I'm going to use it, because then it doesn't have the wheat. But, just a tiny bit. I'll use some coconut aminos as well. And then, since I'm not going to be wrapping these in wonton skin or making dumpling, you know, I could make a quick rice flour dough, but you know, I'm into making things easy. And this is, I have basmati rice that I cooked, and I soaked it a lot and poured it off, and to try to reduce lectins. And here we go. A good 1.5 cups of basmati. And I'm using basmati because it's more digestible than Asian rice. And lastly, chives. Alright, so then I am going to scoop out a meatball and bake it, and we'll give it a taste test. See you in a little bit. So I tested the meatball, it was really good. I've gotten really used to having a little bit of psyllium husk in the meatballs for this nice texture. The potato starch did get the softness, but I just wanted a little more, a little softer. So I am going to put in another delicious backyard egg. Right here, this was some collagen peptides. So, you know, once again, always trying to pack good things in that are good for me. So the collagen is just extra good for your joints and stuff. And then egg, a little bit of the psyllium husk, like a teaspoon, half a teaspoon, yeah, half a teaspoon. Because the psyllium husk can make it get a little too slimy, kind of, or a little bit of almond flour just to absorb up that egg, because the consistency of the meat is right, but I just wanted a little bit more softness. Could have had a little bit more cooked onion and mushroom pureed into it. That would have worked too. But there we go. And you could also put some cilantro or culantro. But I believe we are going to be good to go here. And always, even if you made this a lot, always make a little test, because you just want to make sure you got it perfect. I am going to throw one more in the toaster oven. And maybe I will show you the tasting of that when it's done. See you then. Okay, so the second test just came out. Oh, I forgot, you know what else? One reason why you always taste is you might forget an ingredient. I forgot the ginger. So I did add ginger, a little more salt, a little more coconut aminos, extra egg, a little collagen, psyllium husk. See. Let's see the way this sort of cuts with a fork. I contemplated putting a little bit of coconut oil because this pork, ground pork, was kind of lean. In a Chinese dumpling, you know, they'll make the little bit, you know, they'll grind in some pork fat into it, so it's, you know, plenty moist and fatty. So a lot of times with pork, chicken, turkey, white meat, farces, veal, I'll put milk-soaked bread. But I'm not using bread any longer. So you could use some, you know, gluten-free bread or something, but and soak it in a little cream, and that definitely makes a nice, soft, beautiful. But I'm trying to do things without that, you know. Let's see. It's a home run. It's got the perfect texture. So you have that nice, yummy cooked rice in there. And it has a bit of a crumble. You don't want it too packed, you know. Soft, but yet your teeth go through it. It's a winner. Ink that one. Well, we're all scooped up and ready for the freezer. That's how it's done.